Welcome back to another episode of Reality Nightcap, where we're going to break down the latest episode of the Traitors. And man, I thought last week's was a doozy, but like, lot to break down.
This one changes the game. This murder is the most important murder yet. Then go into a mission that was so gross. And then a roundtable that really is going to set the tone for everything that follows.
For the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. We get to the breakfast, and the last three people that have not arrived are Dylan, Rob, and Derek. Everyone is making their guesses.
Gabby thinks it might be Ivar. Ivar is still here.
The first one that came in, and he was sitting there.
I love Gabby so much. She is adding so much in terms of comedic relief, and I hope that she gets some even more good moments as this season goes on.
It's so good. If you guys have not been watching her TikToks, she talks about her time on the Traitors. It's so good. Go watch, come back. I promise you it's worth it. They come in and it's revealed that Derek is gone. I don't know if that was a good call. And I think that also it threw a couple people off, but I think then it really didn't in the way that Boston Rob was hoping.
Yeah, he's really in between a rock and a hard place at this point because of his previous decisions. Now he's like, do I keep Derek here? And then Derek comes right at me at the next roundtable and I'm very likely going home.
Right.
Or do I murder Derek and try to act like it was a frame job and that the traitors are after me and want people to banish me? No matter what decision that he makes, eyes are going to be on him. Because there was already such a good case, a good amount of evidence.
For weeks,
right.
2 weeks.
And even more so, now they know that Wes was actually a faithful.
Yes.
And that's another piece of evidence that really goes against Boston Rob here. He's the last cage boy left.
Do you think Danielle and Carolyn were at this point just like, whatever, let him steer the ship one last time because we know we're going to get him out at this point?
I think that they know his time is running out. Maybe just let him make this one last move and kind of paint himself into a corner here.
Okay, so I think maybe the most surprising moment of the breakfast or after the breakfast, and honestly probably the entire episode, is Tom Sandoval. He is looking at you, Boston Rob, and his time just looking all over the place with his sweaty armpits is coming to this like pinnacle moment where he is telling people, look, Boston Rob is a traitor and here's why, and his logic makes sense.
Tom has been famously wrong.
Famously.
But now notably right.
So right.
And
I
vocal
don't
about
want
it.
him to be right. Like, I'm sorry. My Vanderpump Rule fans out there, we're all feeling this. We don't want him to be right. I'm sorry, but he's so right.
Yeah, I mean, Derek and Wes did hand this argument to him on a silver platter, but he's taken the ball home, you know?
He's Tom Riddled it.
He solved the riddle.
Oh, God, that man.
Maybe he's Voldemort in other aspects of his life, but right now he's Harry Potter.
A Steph case. I'm gonna have to, you're gonna have to retract that statement. Let us move forward. We're done gushing over Tom Sandoval.
So while Tom has his eyes set on Boston Rob, Dylan actually seems to believe Boston Rob and goes straight to him and tells him what Derek said about him and about Brittany.
He is such a golden retriever, like, of a man. I mean, I'm loving him. I love his game, but he is definitely, the blinders are up on all things Boston Rob because I think he loves him and he loved watching him and he just thinks the man can do no wrong. But the thing is, I think, you know, no matter if he was a traitor or a faithful, Boston Rob has his back. But actually, no. Actually, no, because remember when they were talking about who they were going to murder? Boston Rob did throw out Dylan's name.
You're totally right. And Dylan's in such a weird spot because he's an ally to all three of the traitors.
Yes.
So he really could get brought to the fire of truth by anyone at this point.
So let's talk about the challenge because that was so disgusting.
It really was Fear Factor-esque. It was really fun to watch how the players reacted to it.
It was
Who
so
was
fun.
your favorite to watch?
Okay, I think the Sierra and Rob thing because he was just asking her things to get her mind in a different place and I thought that was really sweet, but I'm also very much obsessed and honestly, I gotta retract my previous statement about Sam Asghari, but I thought him and Ivar were so fun. So, like, they definitely have a bromance going.
Step Brothers kind of vibes.
Yes! And
They're just happy to be here.
They were not fazed by anything, which I'm...
Maggots are falling and they're just smiling at each other, having a blast.
Having a blast. And the fact that then producers asked Ivar about his favorite royal wedding he's ever been to, and he said it was Princess Diana, and we got a little tea. Like, it was fun.
That's so fun. And you're
That part
totally
was
right about Rob and Sierra. I loved them going back and forth about birthdays and veal parm. Like, that was so cute. And honestly, Sierra, as someone who at the previous breakfast brought up Rob's name as a potential traitor, and now she's pretty much in his corner. And I think moments like this help to make that relationship work, and then you get your mind on a different person.
I do want to ask you, though, about Brittany and Danielle, because they were partnered together, but they obviously had this some sort of bond where I remember in the first episode they were like, why are they here? And there was like beef among the two of them, but obviously they've squashed that beef. What is it about the two of them?
Yeah, and there was like this spin-off version of Big Brother called Big Brother Reindeer Games, like a holiday version that they went. Everyone wears Christmas sweaters and there's just like goofy stuff going on. And they had this challenge called Santa Showdown where you had to send people in, and the last person who didn't solve this puzzle gets eliminated.
Got it.
And basically, Brittany sends Danielle in, and Danielle gets eliminated. She can't finish it in time. And that basically really rubbed her the wrong way. They were close up until that point.
Okay, so maybe this is a part of their maggots falling on their head as a part of their healing journey. So they ended up winning. And then Ivar and Sam end up winning, and Rob and Sierra end up winning. And so then we go back. Thank God they took showers. Like, I don't know how. That's so disgusting. It's so disgusting. But they take showers, and then discussions are happening. We have Tom really doubling down on the fact that he does think it's Boston Rob. And people are listening. And I think Boston Rob is squirming in his pants.
Yeah, he knows he needs to get the majority of people to vote with him. And he needs to figure out who's a name that they'll all vote for. And he's trying Brittany because that's the name that Dylan gave to him that Derek said. But that's such a tough sell.
And I also think people see her as like, she's been quiet, which I know like sometimes is not a good thing, but it's just clear it's not Brittany. So let's get into the roundtable of it all, because I will say people are making their arguments, and the fact that Boston Rob is able to manipulate everyone, including me. At one point I'm like, oh, maybe he's not a traitor. And I'm like, oh my God, wait, it's just been a day. He is a traitor. I know this for a fact. How do you think he did?
When he said, I wouldn't be able to make this argument so succinctly and so calmly if I was a traitor, that's BS. Like, he is, because he's just really talented if you've ever seen him on another season.
Which I'm, like, kind of concerned for, like, in his personal life. Like, he's a really good liar.
You know, he's a happy man. A wife he met on Survivor, 4 beautiful daughters.
That was fun to know. I saw that on TikTok, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. That's a fun fact.
Yeah, he pretty much lied to everyone on the season that he met her on except for her. And she won because of it, because everyone was really betrayed by him.
That's honestly iconic. Go off, Boston Rob. So he makes his spiel. Brittany makes her spiel.
And unlike Wes, she's really good at defending herself.
She's really good.
And I love when she said, getting me out is not productive. Like, if you get me out, you're going to be sitting here at the round table tomorrow talking about Boston Rob again. This evidence is not going away. So you kind of have to deal with it one way or another.
Yeah.
At some point, you just have to test the theory, vote him out, and see what happens, and then get information from that.
It was so good. So everyone starts voting. Some for Boston Rob, some for Brittany. I thought the most random were Dolores voting for Tom. Honestly, it's just because she hates him. Go off, Dolores. And then Dylan voting for Gabby. What the hell?
He's consistent. And Chriselle voted for Tom, too.
Yeah, Chriselle hates Tom. And I also don't think they didn't want to piss off Boston Rob. If he wasn't, if he did get voted out, you have to play that game as well. They played it safe.
Exactly. Just throwaway votes. They didn't want to make a decision that really impacted it one way or another.
Yes.
Which is a little,
kind of lame.
Yeah.
Kind of lame. But honestly, I'm sad to see him go solely because he did play the game really well. I loved how he was manipulated. Like, at the end of the day, the show's about being manipulative and all of that stuff. I think if he came in from the start, it would have been a different game for him. But I think because he came from the cages with the 2 other men, it was totally different. He was at an unfair disadvantage, I think. So he reveals to everyone that he is, in fact, a traitor. It was way less aggressive than Wes was last week. What do you think? I mean, everyone was so excited.
Honestly, I felt like cheering with them.
Oh, that's funny, because I think I still am rooting for the Traitors.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm rooting for both sides.
Yeah.
But I just want to see a good game.
Yeah.
I want them both to score points on each other when it's merited. I've really loved watching Boston Rob play. He's had a lot of good moves throughout the season, but I agree that it kind of was his time to go. And it was nice to see the Faithfuls get a win.
I agree.
And I'm excited to see where this takes Carolyn and Danielle moving forward. So I'm team good TV, no matter what side it is.
Your team entertained me. Okay, so then he leaves, and then we have a very dramatic tease as to what's to come for the I don't even understand what's going on. Can you explain, or do you even understand what's going on?
Yeah, so all 5 people that don't have shields, which is Dolores, Chriselle, Tom, Gabby, and Dylan, they're all in these fancy outfits, and they walk into this church, and one of them is going to get told by the Traitors to their face that they're getting murdered.
Do you think they're also going to recruit a traitor?
Not this episode, at least, but that's one of my favorite parts of this show, because whoever gets recruited, they're just in such a sweet spot, and it's so interesting to see their journey go from faithful to traitor that I really hope that happens.
I really hope it happens too. I really hope they would pick Dylan, honestly. I think that would be a good one.
Who do you think that they should murder? Because this is a tough choice.
Tom.
Any particular reason why?
Tom, no reason. All of them are just kind of there.
And they're all looking at each other. Chriselle and Dolores just voted for Tom. If you take out Tom, then Chriselle and Dolores might start looking around for someone else, and that could be Danielle and Carolyn. And then also, the other 2 people are Dylan and Gabby, who are kind of beefing right now.
Well, I am so excited. And then you are going to speak with Boston Rob next week. You're going to ask all the questions. So if you have any burning questions, drop them in the comments, and Steph Case will be sure to ask. But until next week, this was so much fun.
Cannot wait.
Bye.
Bye, guys.